Hey everybody. So this week for your art project, I wanted to focus on sketchbooks. And I have a lot of different ways that we can do this. I know that everyone is going to have different resources available to them, so I'm going to try to cover as much as I can to make a sketchbook available to you. I really think that everyone should do this, whether you are an art student or not. I think it's really important to keep a sketchbook right now. Take some time not looking at a screen and meditate, kind of look inward. And it also gives you a really nice tangible thing to be able to go back and look at and reflect on, especially during a time like this where a lot of things are changing. I'm going to talk about how you can make your own sketchbook. I'm going to talk about how you can keep a good sketchbook if you're already working in one. And I'm going to talk about how you can grow as an artist if you are regularly drawing in a sketchbook. So let's get into it. All right, so first, if you are an art student and you are drawing a lot on a regular basis, I think that is great. You are making the best of your free time. If you have a nice fancy sketchbook at home, that is awesome. Definitely use it. I think that, drawing in it every day is normally a good goal. Not everybody can make that happen. So at least a couple times a week. And really challenge yourself. It's a good time to just experiment. If you're a student who normally likes to draw in a very realistic, observational way, maybe this is your chance to try something that's a little bit more stylistic and surreal. If you're someone who normally draws in a really cartoonish kind of way, maybe this is your chance to try some more observational work. So definitely push yourself to try something new. There are lots of great resources out there online, all kinds of different drawing tutorials if you're feeling a little uninspired, and I can make a page of that and have them posted in the classroom. If you do not have a sketchbook at home, that's okay. You might have something like this lying around, just a lined paper notebook. I know a lot of classes are digital right now, so you might actually have a couple extra of these lying around. These are still good to draw in, but it's better than nothing. So if you do have one of these, definitely think about converting it into a sketchbook. All right, now if you don't have a bound book already, that's okay. I'm gonna show you guys how you can make some. What you are definitely gonna need for this is a small stack of scrap paper. This is a little stack of computer paper that I had. It could be lined paper from a notebook. It could be scrap paper. Maybe it has something on the other side of it. That's okay, it's better than nothing. But you will need some form of scrap paper, and really, after you guys watch me make a couple of these, you'll realize that it can be any size paper. It doesn't necessarily have to be printer size paper. The second thing that you are definitely gonna need is string of some form. I have this fun rainbow yarn. Yarn would work. If you have friendship bracelet string, that would work great. Maybe you have an old shoelace lying around somewhere, that works too. Now, if you don't have paper or string available for this, that's okay. I will add some digital resources that will allow you to kind of keep an online sketchbook, but also thinking small, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be this really nice big book. Even if you just have a stack of Post-it notes and you want to do a little drawing on one of them each day, or maybe you want to write a little quote on one of them each day, that's also a nice way to just be self-reflective and take a kind of moment of thought that we're trying to get out of this whole sketchbook project. Now, you are also going to need to find some drawing materials. Whatever you have will work. You just need something that you can draw with. One other optional material would be something like construction paper or cardstock. If you didn't have that available, you could also use trash or cardboard even would work. This is what we're going to use to make our covers for our sketchbooks. So any sturdier paper you can find would work great for this. But again, if you don't have anything like that available, you can still make it with just scrap paper. Alright, so here's what you guys are actually going to be making today. These are two sketchbooks that I made at home. You can see that I made two different sizes. Really any size will work based on what materials you have access to at home. And the way that they're constructed, on the inside, right, I just have my scrap paper that I folded in half. I did the same thing with my cover. I was able to make two holes along the fold, and then I have a piece of string running through it as a binding. So the way that they're actually built is really simple, but it makes a pretty cool sketchbook that you can keep track of some of your drawings in. So the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out the size of your sketchbook. That's going to be based on two different things: the size of your cover paper and the size of your scrap paper. Whatever your scrap paper is, you're going to want to fold it in half And you're going to want to do the same thing with your cover paper. So you want to make sure that these are even in the middle. And then what I like to do is actually mark, using a pencil or pen, mark right where the paper will fit. And that's going to help us punch some holes later. Fold all of your scrap pages over and line them up with the marking lines you made before. And just above those, you're going to make two other marking lines along the fold of your scrap paper. And then on the opposite side, you're going to make that same mark along the cover paper. Now what you're going to do is use your scissors to cut out a triangle shape right along that mark that you made. And this is actually going to be the hole that we'll run our binding through. You could try to cut a round shape if you really wanted. If you had something like a hole punch, you could just use that at this stage. And if you did have a hole punch, you would just unfold it so that it was open and make your hole punch about as far down as we made these. But just cutting out triangles works really well. You can put it back on your cover and make sure that these triangles are lining up with the lines on your cover. If they do, great. We're going to fold our cover in half and cut out those same triangles along these marks here. Alright, so once you have triangles cut in both of the folds of your cover paper and your pages, you're going to open up your cover and open up your pages and line these little squares that you now have up, and you're going to want to grab your string. You're going to need, I like to say, about 2 book lengths worth of string. 1, 2. Now if you don't have that much, that's not a problem. You can probably get away with doing it with less, but that's a good kind of rule of thumb. And we are just going to line our string through these holes. If you want your knot to be on the outside, you're going to start with the pages facing up. If you want your knot to be tucked away on the inside of the book, you'll start with your cover facing up. So I'm actually going to do my knot on the inside of the book. And then I'll just pull it tight and flip it over and tie my knot on the inside. And then once you have a knot tied, I like to do a double knot. You can just trim the edges of the string. And now you have your sketchbook. Super quick, I'm going to do a no scissors sketchbook. So same thing as our last ones, except instead of cutting out these triangles with scissors, I'm just going to do them by tearing. Now, if you are making a no scissors sketchbook and you have extra string on your binding, what I would say you should do is actually slide this knot all the way up to the top. And now you can open up to one of your pages and flip this string over and use it as a fancy bookmark. Alright, now real quick, the trash sketchbook I'm really excited about is to have a mac and cheese sketchbook. I've never had a mac and cheese sketchbook before, and it's just something that I'm really proud of. I have some pre-cut scrap paper ready to go that I think is going to fit nicely on my cover here, and I'm just going to cut this out, and I'm actually going to use a hole punch for this one to save a little bit of time, and I have a piece of string already ready to go. And there you go, guys. A mac and cheese sketchbook. I mean, really, what more could you guys want out of this project? It's incredible. Well, it's just not great timing. I'm sure everyone would love to see you, but I'm in the middle of something. And I'm sure you have stuff to do. You're always busy. Why don't you, I'll work here and you can go.